week. Tonight, a mostly clear sky. We'll dip it back down into the low 40s for most, but some of the outlying spots and farms may see the upper 30s by early Tuesday morning. Warming up to 70 for our Tuesday afternoon and just climbing through the 70s throughout the week, even close to 80 by Thursday. Our next chance for rain doesn't creep back in until we get to Friday. That's your forecast for the WSIC Weather Center. I'm meteorologist Chase Myers.
Folks, you know it's been cold, and we at Randy Marion Stores in Statesville, we want to make sure it does not leave you stranded on these cold mornings. Come let us check your vehicle out with a complimentary service check. Randy Marion Chevrolet of Statesville, Randy Marion Ford Lincoln, we'll check it out to make sure that car will start on these cold mornings and get you to where you need to be. Come see us today. Make sure you're tip-top ready to go. 2024 has started off cold. Let's make sure you are ready to go.
King of Price, RandyMarionStatesville.com.
Hello, everyone. Oh, my goodness. It's been so long. I've missed you. I have no idea where I am right now. Where am I? Where am I? Oh, that's right. I'm at WSIC in the brand new studio. This room right here is my production room. It's beautiful, isn't it? I mean, it looks like, it kind of looks like an insane person would live in here, honestly, but we'll get some decorations on those walls. It'll look pretty. This, from now on, will be known as the dojo. Yes, the dojo. That is the room we are coming from you right now here on the scoreboard. 844 Studio 4 gets you right here on the scoreboard. Man, what a weekend it was. There were a lot of sports going on, but for most of Saturday, I wasn't watching a lot of sports. I got to say, I was a little bit naughty in that sense. We were here for a lot of the day doing this and that. Well, if you watch other shows, if you're listening on the radio right now, it might not be coming across to you quite what we did. We remodeled our studios. Yes, we did. And they look beautiful. Beautiful. But that's what I was doing most of Saturday and then had other obligations to be at. So I couldn't really sit down and just watch sports for an entire day as much as I would have liked to. But I do know what's going on. And I do know that this is a big week for NCAA basketball. It's a big week for high school basketball. Two games left on the schedule for these teams. And that's if you win on Tuesday. Final four for the 1, 2, 3, 4A men's, women's basketball. We will have those matchups for you right here. Also, today is a big football day. Yeah, it's been a while since we talked about the NFL. But going on right now today, NFL free agency opens up. And there are a lot of moves to talk about. Ooh, boy. We're going to get to all of that, including, you know how we do it, some hockey, some basketball, if we have time. NASCAR definitely this weekend. Phoenix was a very interesting race. Probably the most, well, we'll put it this way. It was the least entertaining of the season so far, but it wasn't bad. And I'll tell you what I mean when we get a little bit later on in the show and we talk about NASCAR. But for now, we're going to start things the way we always do, the way we always have, and that's the high school basketball scene. Yes, we are there. It is the final week. We have regionals going on today. The Final Four starts tomorrow. We're going to get you the results of all the games from Friday as well as the matchups in both the West and the East conferences of the state because, well, now it matters. It does. Starting with the men's side of things, 1A. South Stokes comes out as the 1 seed. They are out in Walnut Cove, North Carolina. They're going to be taking on the 2 seed, Corvian Community High School down in Charlotte. 1 seed playing a 2 seed. on the 1A side of things. Now in the East, it's a little different. Wilson Prep, the 1 seed, will be taking on, and actually already played, it looks like. Actually, this is a little confusing to me right now, but there is the game right there. Wilson Prep took on Birdie High School earlier on today. That game was at 4 o'clock. Final score in that one, 62-46. So moving on to the state championship out of the West 1A is Wilson Prep. That must have just gotten entered as we were coming live here onto the scoreboard, because that wasn't there earlier today. Even about 30 minutes ago, it wasn't there. So there you go. We have our first one through. Wilson Prep beats Birdie. That's out of the east side of the state, so we are not too familiar with those schools. But South Stokes, Corvian Community, game today at 8 o'clock to go to the state championship. Now, for the 2A, Reedsville, the 1 seed, will be taking on the 2 seed Salisbury. Yes, it went chalk on the east side on the west side of the state. And on the east side of the state, same thing. Farmville Central taking on Goldsboro. That's the 1 and the 2 seed. Those games coming up on Wednesday. So 2A, the 2A schools on the men's side playing on Wednesday. 6 o'clock, 8 o'clock are the times for those. Moving right on to the 3A, and boy, oh boy, there they are. Hickory High School against Central Cabarrus. It's another one playing a 2. Went chalk there. Hickory High School still undefeated, obviously. They went into the playoffs undefeated. You gotta be undefeated to stay in the playoffs, right? That's how it works. So Hickory still has not lost a game this year. They're having an awesome year. They take on Central Cabarrus to go to the state championship. And on the east side of things, 71st High School will be taking on Westover High School. That's a 4 versus a 2. Now, these games will be tomorrow. The Hickory and Central Cabarrus games will be a little later. That one's at 8 o'clock tomorrow. And for the 4A side of things, as we move our way over there, we have one school that we've been talking about who played just on Friday with a chance to go to regionals, and they got it done. Lake Norman High School takes down the 11 seed Chambers High School, 82-61. Lake Norman breezing by things. They will be taking on the number 5 seeded team, North Mech. Now, this is interesting, okay, because it would look like for a long time this was going to go chalk. Myers Park was beating up on everybody in their way. I mean, they let up 45 to Mallard Creek, 28 to Audrical, and 24 to Independence High School. And then they run into North Mecklenburg, does Myers Park, and, well, it didn't go well for them. 79-63. So the 5 seed taking on the 2 seed Lake Norman. These games, well, they got to wait a little bit for them, actually. Yeah. So not today, not tomorrow. No, not Wednesday. Yes, Thursday. Thursday is when this one's going to be. Okay, though. They made it. Lake Norman made it. They are in the Final Four. So they'll have a chance to compete for a state championship. Well, we're already coming up on our first break of the day, but that doesn't mean that the high school conversation is going to end just yet. No, when we come back, we do have to talk about the women's side of things because, man, it's been a good women's tournament too. Lake Norman, can they be in the Final Four, both men's and women's? I think they got a good shot of it. Maybe we'll see dual state championships there. Maybe Hickory will punch their way to another state championship game this school year. We'll have the women's side of things when we return from this commercial break. Don't go anywhere, everyone. We got a good one for you here today. We're back right after this.
Keep it right here. We'll have more of the Scoreboard with Joe Berg in just a moment. From 105.9 100.7 WSIC.
Warming.
Caller, are you there? Hello, caller? Hello? Hello? Womp womp.
Back in until we get to Friday. That's your forecast for the WSIC Weather Center. I'm meteorologist Chase Myers.
Here is your WSIC community calendar. Happy St. Patty's Day! Plenty of fun and adventure happening around the entire area this weekend. Downtown Cornelius, downtown Mooresville, DeVos Day Vineyards in Troutman, and so much more. As always, we hope you have a fun and safe time celebrating. Summer camps are just around the corner. Check out some of the camps happening at Kane Center for the Arts. Pottery for Teens, Paint, 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 Broadway Through the Ages, and many more. Kane Center for the Arts is offering week-long camps starting June 10th through August 9th. For more info and to register for any of the summer camps, visit canearts.org. That's CAIN arts.org. Hey, coin collectors! This is your weekend too. The Statesville Coin and Currency Show at the Statesville Civic Center is this weekend, featuring over 60 tables of some of the finest coins around. For more info, contact Bill Brewer of Carolina Prospectors in Statesville. The Statesville Coin and Currency Show, Statesville Civic Center, March 16th and 17th. This Saturday, Eagle Rentals in Statesville is having their Customer Appreciation Day. Come out to Eagle Rentals from noon until 4 p.m. and enjoy some time that is sure to be fun for the whole family. 3435 East Broad Street in Statesville. Eagle Rentals Customer Appreciation Day this Saturday. MerleFest is back, April 25th through the 28th at Wilkes Community College. Featuring nearly 100 performers, including Old Crow Medicine Show, Sam Bush, Turnpike Troubadours, the Teskey Brothers, Nickel Creek, and more. Tickets and information at merlefest.org. Listen each morning to Good Morning LKN for your chance to win tickets. Have an event you would like to tell people about? Yard sales, estate sales, and everything in between? Visit WSICnews.com and click on events to submit your event today.
Little Shavers Wood Shop and Building Supply is your one-stop source for winter electric and torpedo heaters, heat lamps, pine and cedar shavings, ice melt, and snow sleds. Plus, year-round items including PPG paints and stains, tools for plumbing and heating, and automotive supplies. Over 55,000 warehouse products available. You'll find Little Shavers on Facebook and online at littleshavers.com. That's LILshavers.com.
Talk sports with Joe Berg. Call 844-STUDIO-4. It's the Scoreboard on 105.9 100.7 WSIC.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Segment number 2 here on the Scoreboard on this Monday. What is today? It's the 18th. We're still in March. Things are mad. Mad, I tell ya. And they're going to get even more mad as we get to Sunday, Selection Sunday. Ooh, boy. But right now, things are mad for another reason, okay? We have high school playoff basketball going on. We are into the Final Four, regionals, then states coming up later. Somebody's going to have to win 2 more games. 2 more games. And they might get themselves a state championship. You never know. You never know. But we already talked about the men's side of things. Let's swing our way over here to the women's bracket because it's been just as entertaining as the men's, as it's been for a while now here. Starting with the 1A, as we always do. 1A, we have one of these games that went final much earlier today. So we'll actually start with 1A in the east side of things. East Bladen and East Columbus took each other on there. That is a 12 seed in East Bladen taking on a 3 seed in East Columbus. East Columbus getting it done, winning 76-66. And on the other side of things in the West, number 1 Mountain Heritage has made it to the regionals. They take on number 3 Cherokee as they were able to upset number 2 Bishop McGinnis. Bishop McGinnis is that one. That's the 1A. And now into the 2A side of things. Now, actually, before we move on from 1A, one of those games, like I said, is final. The other one is actually going on as we speak. And if I can pull this up correctly, there is reports of a live scorer being at that game. So right now, the 3 seed Cherokee is beating the 1 seed Mountain Heritage 28-16. It looks like that game has just moved its way into quarter number 2. So if that one goes final before we leave today, I'll bring it to you and I'll let you know who the representative from the West is going to be, and we will have one of our state championship games ready to go. Moving on to the 2A side of things, we'll start on the west side this time, right around the home area. Number 12, Lincoln Charter. Yes, number 12, Lincoln Charter took down North Wilkes, the 1 seed, 53-43, the final score on that one. Their opponent, number 3, East Burke, who beat East Rutherford 57-40. And then on the west side, or on the east side of things, North Pitt, the 1 seed, taking on Seaforth. That's the 3. And as we go to the 3A, it gets a little bit more chalk, especially in these 3 and 4A brackets. With the 3A, you have a 1 taking on a 3 in the east and a 1 taking on a 2 in the west. On the west side of things, that's AC Reynolds as the 1, West Rowan as the 2. That game's tomorrow, as well as the east side, number 1 South Central, number 3 Terry Sanford High School. Those games tomorrow. And I think I forgot to let you know when the 2A games would be. That wouldn't be very nice. Those are going to be on Wednesday. So the 2A games on Wednesday, 2 o'clock and 4 o'clock. For the 4A, we talked about a school that could possibly have 2 teams in the Final Four, the men's and the women's side of things. Well, it just didn't happen to work out that way. Number 2, Lake Norman, they fell. Yes, they lost to Charlotte Catholic 51-44, putting up a very good fight in that one, but just wasn't meant to be. So Charlotte Catholic moves into the regionals to take on the 1 seed Watauga, who beat Myers Park 50-38. And on the other side of things, like I said, it gets a little more chalk. Number 1 Hoggard taking on number 2 Rollsville. Both of those games on Thursday. So 4A games are going to be on Thursday. As we move through the week, I'm going to continue to give you all of these results that I can as they're updated, as they're brought to me, because we don't want to leave anybody out. Talk about all of our participants here in the state championship games. Final Four, man, that's a good way to go, but you don't want to lose now. Nope. You made it all this way. The last thing you want to do is fall and lose. So we'll continue to bring all of what we can to you here on the scoreboard. And we're going to move on now. We've completed our high school talk. Now we're going to save the college ranks for a little bit later because I want to at least start getting into NASCAR because, well, it was a wonderful race there on Sunday in Phoenix. Now, the Xfinity race was interesting. Like I said, on Saturday, I was just unfortunately unable to watch that one, but I did catch Sunday's Cup race. It was, and I talked about this last week. Sometimes when somebody dominates, it can still be a good race. And even though Christopher Bell didn't dominate, he had a dominating car. And once he got out front, nobody was really catching him. And that's proof by the 5-second gap that he built up between him and second place. Let's hear from MRN, who had the call here on WSIC on Sunday. This is your Phoenix 1-minute race recap. Well, it looks like we're experiencing some technical difficulties. I don't have the 1-minute race recap for you guys. I'm sorry. I thought it would work, but we're working through some technical things here. Let's see. Can I get this to pull up on WSIC? Come on. Play. No. Okay. Well, we'll move on for that for now. We can talk about the race because there's a lot to talk about with this race. Okay. Christopher Bell gets his first win of the year. Toyota getting their first win of the year. They're saying it was a dominant win. That's the words that are being used. Now, not leading the most laps doesn't sound very dominating to me. Denny Hamlin, Tyler Reddick, Martin Truex Jr., Ty Gibbs all led more than Christopher Bell. Now, like I said, once he got out in front, there was no catching Bell. Bell ended up over 5 seconds ahead of Chris Buescher, who finished second. Now, and I thought Denny Hamlin was going to win this race. I did. He is a very good flat track driver, as he's proven throughout his entire career. But he made a mistake. Denny Hamlin got loose underneath Tyler Reddick, made contact with him, went around, and he just wasn't able to recover. Got it all the way back up to 11th. But after starting on the pole, he was unable to come away with the victory. Now, he had a good race. He did. So you can't take anything away from him there. Now, he didn't win a stage, but he finished really good in the stages. Third in both stages, which is a good amount of points. So he's, not bad. There's somebody here from Phoenix, though, who might hit the panic button, but I'm still not really sure, especially with the way NASCAR gears their season. Right now, Joey Logano is 30th. He's moved down to 30th in the point standings. This would mean a lot more, and I mean a lot more, if it wasn't winning in. Because if you had to point your way into the playoffs, if you had to win a season-long points format, oh boy, Joey Logano might be out of it already. 50 points to start the year. Ryan Blaney, your points leader, 151 points. These are after Phoenix. That's 4 races into the season. Daytona and Atlanta, we talked about it. They were kind of throwaway races. Like, Daytona is always that one where you're like, okay, whatever. We tried to win Daytona. We didn't. Let's now settle into the season. There was no chance to do that this year because you immediately go to another super speedway, another draft track, if you will, in Atlanta with the new format. Bad results in a couple of those, and then in DNF at Phoenix, that puts you 30th in points. But there's 26 races in the regular season, 22 races to go. If you get a win, you go to the playoffs. So what does it matter? Go get a win. Go to the playoffs. We'll have a little more for you here on NASCAR on the other side of the break. We'll see if we can hear from MRN. We'll try our best. Do what I can. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to the Scoreboard here on WSIC 844 Studio 4. That's our phone number. Call me up. Don't go anywhere, though. Don't go anywhere. We're back after this.
Director Joe Berg's The Scoreboard is coming up on 105.9 100.7 WSIC.
Warming up with a lot of 70s in the forecast for this week. Tonight, a mostly clear sky. We'll dip it back down into the low 40s for most, but some of the outlying spots and farms may see the upper 30s by early Tuesday morning. Warming up to 70 for our Tuesday afternoon and just climbing through the 70s throughout the week, even close to 80 by Thursday. Our next chance for rain doesn't creep back in until we get to Friday. That's your forecast from the WSIC Weather Center. I'm meteorologist Chase Myers.
The Statesville Family YMCA reminds you that older adults and those with chronic health conditions don't need to feel they must accept impaired balance and limited mobility. Build strength, improve balance, and gain confidence in your mobility through the Moving for Better Balance program. For questions and additional information, email C. Mullins at ymcanwnc.org.
Hello, friends. This is Dwight with Gullion's Christian Supply and Homeschool Headquarters, inviting you to join the Gullion.
Oh my God. Okay, stream. Everybody on stream, listen up. This is ridiculous. Everybody for the Panthers should be fired. We have breaking news right now, and I'm not going to wait until we get back on air because we got like 4 more minutes. This just happened. The Carolina Panthers are trading star Brian Burns to the New York Giants. He will get a 5-year, $150 million max contract. The return for Carolina is a 2nd and a 5th round pick. Last year, they were offered 2 firsts. I'm going to walk out. I'm going to walk out. I'm going to leave. Carolina, what are you doing? All right, let's talk about this on the air.
You, the American taxpayer. American citizens and business owners will be paying more taxes. That's a fact. And if you owe back taxes, they will be coming after you to collect payments. In fact, President Biden also hired thousands more IRS agents to go after you. If you got a letter from the IRS and you know you owe back taxes or you haven't filed in years, don't put your head in the sand. Call us today. We've saved our customers millions of tax dollars. One quick, free phone call will show you how we can reduce your past tax bill and save you thousands. Guaranteed, or you pay nothing. Call now.
800-218-6440. 800-218-6440. 800. If you're 65 or older and Medicare is your main source of insurance, pay close attention right now and listen for details on how you may save thousands of dollars on your health care costs. Did you know that Medicare can pay for things like dental visits, home delivery of drugs, even a gym membership? Call us right now and learn how to unlock all your Medicare benefits. Medicare and supplemental plans that we provide can even offer you drug coverage with 0 copays and pay for transportation to your doctors. Medicare plans can offer you wonderful money-saving benefits, but you've got to call now. We'll help you get the most out of your Medicare. Make this free, no-obligation call now. Save a ton of money on your health care costs and get the code to unlock all your earned Medicare benefits. Paid for by Senior Choice Plans. 800-508-5774. 800-508-5774. That's 800-508.
This is a Bloomberg Money Minute. A bad day for Boeing as investors had their first chance to react to word this weekend. The Justice Department has opened a criminal investigation of the January incident that saw a fuselage panel blow off a plane in mid-flight. The head of the National Transportation Safety Board said last week the company was slow-walking cooperation with its investigation, and that's on top of a series of other incidents. A United Boeing 777 lost a wheel over San Francisco last week. An older model 737 belched flames from its engine. A 787 Dreamliner apparently suffered a technical event, jerked around, and that injured at least 10 people. Boeing shares fell 3%. On Wall Street, investors kept their moves tight as they wait for tomorrow's February inflation report. The Dow rose 0.1%, 47 points, but the S&P and NASDAQ fell 0.1% to nearly 0.5%. The S&P dropped 6, the NASDAQ 66. Joan Doniger, Bloomberg Radio.
It's the Scoreboard with your host, Sports Director Joe Berg on 105.9 100.7 WSIC.
I'm losing my mind right now. I am. I'm losing it. Welcome back to the Scoreboard. We're done with NASCAR. I said we would talk more NASCAR on the other side of the break, but it's time to talk about the Carolina Panthers. Breaking news during the commercial break. Here it is. I got it right here for you. The Carolina Panthers have made a trade. Uh-oh. It's not a good one. The Panthers are trading outside linebacker Brian Burns to the New York Giants for a second-round pick and a fifth-round pick per multiple sources. The Giants are extending Burns on a 5-year contract worth a maximum of $150. $87 million of it is guaranteed. I'm going to throw something. You know how long we've been talking about the trade that was offered to them last year for the same player? Does anybody remember? Yeah, Brian Burns was, the Rams wanted him. Yeah, the Rams. We remember them, right? They were pretty good for a little while, won a Super Bowl. Matt Stafford, they were trying to extend their window. So they told the Carolina Panthers that they would give them 2 first-round picks for Burns. That silence better be deafening. Because I am appalled at the management of the Panthers. If he was going to get you that little, bite the contract and keep him around. Because it's not worth sending him somewhere to be amazing. Unless he just really didn't want to be here. And if it comes down to that, then you had no leverage and you failed to trade him when the time was right. If you already knew he wasn't going to come back, you failed to trade him when the time was right. Mismanagement every step of the way. Dan Morgan, buddy. Dan, listen up. You're not off to a good start in the eyes of the Carolina Panther fans, okay? I'm not going to tell you that it's a terrible move because who knows? Maybe 5 years from now, it's a great move. Maybe the second round pick that you get for this is diamond in the rough. But on the surface and initial reaction, terrible trade. Brian Burns is a franchise guy. We know this. He's a very good pass rusher. Now, maybe his numbers weren't all there this year, and that's okay. You know, he's a terrible team. He's the only one to pay attention to. I'm going to bash my head onto this brand new desk in this studio because this is just terrible mismanagement. 844-STUDIO-4, 844-788-3464. Sound off. Let me know how terrible this trade is because I promise you, it's not good. It's not good. There's other things going on in free agency, though. Yes, there are. This seems to be the only one that matters now. And I'll tell you what, for the New York Giants, that's a pretty good trade. That's a pretty good trade. Don't forget, they have a pretty good pass rusher over there themselves. Kayvon Thibodeau. If anybody is aware, he's a pretty good pass rusher. I'm just curious, are you going to give 2 pass rushers the same contract? How are you going to pay both of them? This is the confusing part of sports because the Giants are in no place to win. Not anytime soon. They thought about bringing Russell Wilson in. Yeah, that was reported over the weekend. You thought I missed that one? No, that was reported over the weekend that the Giants brought in Russell Wilson. You don't bring in Russell Wilson if you know who your number one quarterback is. Russell Wilson ends up signing with the Steelers, which, you know what? Good for them. Maybe it works out. They actually got a quarterback. Let's talk about some other things going on right now into the NFL free agency side of things. The Bills, we've talked about the Bills quite a bit. Buffalo loses a very important piece to their puzzle. Gabe Davis, as he's known, has signed with the Jacksonville Jaguars on a 3-year contract. There's other things going on, and my brain is shot right now. I just feel like the only thing that matters is the terrible mismanagement of the Carolina Panthers organization. You traded Brian Burns for nothing. Nothing! All right, some other things going on. This is a big one, too. Vikings quarterback, Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins signs with the Atlanta Falcons. That's a huge one. You know, the Falcons are a talented team. They really are. And they're one of those teams that kind of just needed a quarterback to set them straight. You know, we know now that it's not going to work out with who they have there. And it was, you know, I thought they were going to maybe bring in Russell Wilson. I thought maybe they'd trade for Justin Fields because he's still a Bear. Well, what's going on with that? My brain is, I really want to know what everybody thinks. 844-788-3464. Question on the stream here. Did the G-Men, the Giants, get running back Devin Singletary? Yes, they did. 3 years, $16.5 million. Devin Singletary to the New York Giants. That is correct. You know, I would go through every single signing that we had, but there's too many. So let's talk about the other important ones, and I'm trying to rack my brain here and understand what the Panthers just did, and we're going to move on for it, but it's really got me all out of whack here. Speaking of the New York Giants and their trade for a defensive lineman who they may or may not be able to win with, they also add a running back, and you might be thinking, well, why did they add a running back? Well, that's because running back Saquon Barkley left the New York Giants. He goes, 100 miles, if that, away to the Philadelphia Eagles. Saquon Barkley, 3 years, $37 million to the Eagles. And on that running back train, now I talked about this on Friday. Why would you want to be a running back in today's day and age where nobody's going to sign a big running back contract? Well, we got a couple that are over $10 million a year. Josh Jacobs leaves the Raiders. Yes, he left the Raiders. He's going to Green Bay. This is an interesting one. If Jacobs can continue to produce, because he's getting to that age where running backs in this day and age just stop producing. But if he can continue to play at the high level that he's playing at right now, watch out for those Packers, man. I like Jordan Love. I do. I'll tell you what, I really think that they got their guy at quarterback, and we were all just kind of saying, well, if you haven't played him yet, he's not the real deal. No, they got their guy. They were just waiting. Very interesting turn of things here at the start of NFL free agency. We'll talk about a couple more signings here before we get to the NCAA. Chat about what happened over the weekend, what's coming up during the week, and then we'll get out of here on this Monday. Don't go anywhere, everyone. One segment left to go. You're listening to The Scoreboard, and we are back after this.
of Sports Director Joe Berg's The Scoreboard is coming up on 105.9 100.7 WSIC.
Warming up with a lot of 70s in the forecast for this week. Tonight, a mostly clear sky. We'll dip it back down into the low 40s for most, but some of the outlying spots and farms may see the upper 30s by early Tuesday morning. Warming up to 70 for our Tuesday afternoon and just climbing through the 70s throughout the week, even close to 80 by Thursday. Our next chance for rain doesn't creep back in until we get to Friday. That's your forecast for the WSIC Weather Center. I'm meteorologist Chase Myers.
Here is your WSIC community calendar. Happy St. Paddy's Day! Plenty of fun and adventure happening around the entire area this weekend. Downtown Cornelius, downtown Mooresville, DeVos State Vineyards in Troutman, and so much more. As always, we hope you have a fun and safe time celebrating. Summer camps are just around the corner. Check out some of the camps happening at Kane Center for the Arts, Pottery for Teens, Paint, 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 Broadway Through the Ages, and many more. Kane Center for the Arts is offering week-long camps starting June 10th through August 9th. For more info and to register for any of the summer camps, visit canearts.org. That's CAIN arts.org. Hey, coin collectors! This is your weekend too. The Statesville Coin and Currency Show at the Statesville Civic Center is this weekend, featuring over 60 tables of some of the finest coins around. For more info, contact Bill Brewer of Carolina Prospectors in Statesville. The Statesville Coin and Currency Show, Statesville Civic Center, March 16th and 17th. This Saturday, Eagle Rentals in Statesville is having their Customer Appreciation Day. Come out to Eagle Rentals from noon until 4 p.m. and enjoy some time that is sure to be fun for the whole family. 3435 East Broad Street in Statesville. Eagle Rentals Customer Appreciation Day this Saturday. MerleFest is back, April 25th through the 28th at Wilkes Community College, featuring nearly 100 performers, including Old Crow Medicine Show, Sam Bush, Turnpike Troubadours, the Teskey Brothers, Nickel Creek, and more. Tickets and information at merlefest.org. Listen each morning to Good Morning LKN for your chance to win tickets. Have an event you would like to tell people about? Yard sales, estate sales, and everything in between? Visit WSICnews.com and click on events to submit your event today.
The Ugly Antenna has now become a household name in this area. The Ugly Antenna allows those without a streaming provider to receive up to 50 channels absolutely free of charge, including Fox 46.1. The Ugly Antenna is small and connects directly to your TV. Get the Ugly Antenna for just $40. Call 704-682-1755. That's 704-682-1755 for the Ugly Antenna.
Now more of The Scoreboard with Joe Berg on 105.9 100.7 WSIC.
Welcome back to The Scoreboard here on this beautiful Monday. I don't know if it's a beautiful Monday anymore. It's a sad Monday now. Yeah, it is. It really is. Carolina, what are you doing? I'm going to hit my head on this microphone. That didn't feel too good. So just a little fun story here about this trade. So the New York Giants earlier in the year at the deadline traded Leonard Williams away, who is a pretty good outside linebacker, rushing guy. They traded him for a second-round pick and a fifth-round pick. They just traded that second-round pick and a fifth-round pick for Brian Burns. Does anybody see the problem there? All right, Dan Morgan, you're off to a tough start. Let's go. Let's rally. Let's rally. Let's see what you got as the GM of the Panthers. Come on. You got this. Tough start, but we knew everything had to be torn down before it could be rebuilt. You know, when things get really messy and you're just like, I'm just going to destroy it even more before I start cleaning it up. That kind of feels like what we're doing now. It does. It's the only way I can justify it, okay? I'm trying. This is terrible, though. 844-788-3464 is the phone number if you want to be a part of the show. You can call right on in here to the studio, be part of the program. Moving on to some other things in NFL free agency before we get to the NCAA recap for the weekend. Here's one for you. Yesterday, it was announced that quarterback Baker Mayfield would be re-signed by the Buccaneers. Yeah. Baker played good enough to get himself a new contract. 3 years, $100 million. And you know what? That is a good deal for both sides. It is not the highest paid guy in the league. He's not the worst paid guy in the league. He's not paid like a backup. He's paid pretty well for where he's at. And you know what? More quarterbacks should do this. They should. Because you're not always going to be the highest paid quarterback. It's not always next man up. Because if it's always next man up and you're not the next man, you might find yourself making backup quarterback money. There's a big difference between backup quarterback money and not backup quarterback money, if you know what I mean. Kirk Cousins, the deal that he signed, 4 years, $180 million. That was with Atlanta earlier today. Bryce Huff, outside linebacker, formerly for the New York Jets, signed with the Eagles. Yeah, the Eagles are adding. They had a rough exit there in the playoffs, round number 1, but they're adding. They're trying to keep going. So we'll see if anything else huge breaks. By the way, Gardner Minshew, 2 years, $25 million. See anybody else that is a household name going somewhere? Aaron Jones was released by Green Bay that after they brought in Josh Jacobs. Colby Parkinson going to the Rams. Yeah, that's most of the bigger names. Former Carolina Panther Frankie Louvu goes to the Washington Commanders. If anybody else wants to bring up any other trades that happen, you can give me a call here, 844-788-3464. We'll chat about it however you want to do it. I don't care. We'll talk. It's sports. Let's chat. Moving right along, we got to get to the NCAA before we leave for the day. I mean, we really pushed this back. We only got a couple of minutes to talk about it. So it was an interesting weekend of college basketball. The number 4 team ranked in the U.S., Tennessee, fell to Kentucky. Big win for Kentucky after that midseason where we were like, I don't know what kind of team Kentucky is. Are they good? Are they bad? Are they decent? Well, they just beat a really good team in Tennessee, 85-81. Also, the number 1 ranked school in the country, Houston, 76-46 win over number 14, Kansas. UConn beat Providence. You got to go back down to number 5 for another upset, USC and Bronny James. Yes, Bronny James beating Arizona, the number 5 team in the country. And what a game it was. 78, a little dyslexia there getting to me. 78, man, I can't get it. 78-65, the final score in that one. Bronny James, by the way, 20 minutes, 5 points. That's, his dad's going to get him drafted more than anything. Those are not draft me numbers. No, they are not. Here's a breaking news for you. Running back Austin Eckler, very good running back with the Chargers. He has left I almost called them San Diego. That just goes to show you how much this Brian Burns trade has me in a loop. I almost called them San Diego. He leaves the Chargers of L.A. and goes to the Washington Commanders on a 2-year contract. So there's your NFL mid update for you. They're going to keep coming in. Tomorrow's going to be like this also. Maybe the Panthers do something good. Who knows? Anyway, let's get back to the NCAA because we got to talk about this Duke-North Carolina game. Duke tried to put a feverish comeback in the second half, but wouldn't be stopped. Now, I know there's a lot of commentary about this game. He did this. He said this. Why are you doing this? He tripped him. You're all in the wrong. All of you. You're all in the wrong. All right. First of all, Kyle Filipowski, you're not making any friends out there, bud. You're not. First, you're whining about not getting hurt, saying you got hurt. Then you're tripping people going down the court. I mean, we'll call you Grayson Allen now, I guess. And for North Carolina, get off the court. You won. Don't taunt the fans. We just went over this a week and a half ago between separating the fans from the players. Why are you doing this? Be better. You both deserve to lose. You do. Ridiculous. I don't know where they get the audacity to do these things, but they do. Maybe it's because they see it on the NBA all the time. I don't know. But you got to relax. You're in college. Yeah, now you get paid. Congratulations. But we're talking about keeping players safe from fans, from court storming. And then you turn around and you yell at the fans of the opposing team. Yeah, you're going to get things thrown at you. They're college students. They're probably drunk. Ridiculous. It is. I don't care who won the game. I don't care who's going to be ranked where. You made a mockery of this game. You did. It was a good game up until then. I watched all the highlights of it. And you made a mockery of it. So, you know what? I don't have much respect for that. I don't. And the interviews afterwards were hilarious. They were laughing about it and saying, yeah, it was fun. No, it wasn't. Somebody's going to get hurt. That's not fun. Be better. Jeez. That's all I want to say about that Duke-North Carolina game because they took away from the good game by doing that. It's ridiculous. Number 8, Marquette beat Xavier. Number 10, Creighton took down Villanova. You got to go down to 11, Baylor, before you find the next upset. They lost to Texas Tech, 78-68. A lot of other games that took place throughout the week. We're going to have all of the conference tournaments starting today. West Coast Conference Tournament. Tomorrow is when some of the bigger ones start taking place, though, including Davidson, who's going to be in the Atlantic 10 for you there. So we'll see what happens. Selection Sunday coming up on Sunday. I have no soft spot in my heart for Duke and North Carolina right now. I don't. It's bad look on both of your parts, and you should be ashamed. Honestly, that's how I feel. All right, let's get out of here with something good for this day in sports history. Now, I've been running around quite a bit today, so we're just searching right now. We're looking for something good that happened on this day in sports history. I got one for you. It happened. I don't know if this is good or bad because this kind of changed the way sports are run. Not only in football, but baseball, hockey, basketball, soccer. Soccer now has this. In the year 1986, the NFL for the first time adopts instant video replay. And the rest is history. Now you have challenges. Now you have reviews inside of 2 minutes. You have quick reviews, which I still don't really know what that one is. Seems fake, just a way to move the game along and not have a coach waste a challenge, but who knows? Don't quote me on that. All right, well, thanks everyone for tuning in on this Monday to the Scoreboard. We are back tomorrow, same time, same place as we always are. We'll have more NFL free agency news for you. Duke, North Carolina, be better. Be better. We expect more from you too. Tune in tomorrow, same time, same place. I'll be here. Until then, have a good night, everyone.
Serving you better than ever before. 105.9, 100.7, WSIC.